Find your way onto your back. Settling onto your mat in your Shavasana or a resting pose that feels good in your body today. Taking up space with your body, setting the feet and arms out wide at your sides. Start to turn your attention to the breath, releasing any external distractions, any thoughts from your day, your week. Instead, focus on the breath as it moves in through the nose and out through the nose. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let the belly rise up towards the ceiling. With a slow breath out, belly softens, contracts. Big breath in, belly rise. And a soft breath out, belly falls. Continuing with that slow rhythm of breath. Gentle rise and fall of belly as the chest remains in stillness. Each breath in creating a sense of openness and spaciousness through your body. And each breath out really sinking you deeper and deeper into the mat, grounding you here in this very moment. Draw your awareness to the fingertips. Just noticing the temperature of the room around them, any sensations they might be feeling. Draw the attention to the toes. Tips of the toes, the spaces between them. While remaining in stillness throughout your entire body, just start to spread the fingers and toes away from one another all the way down to the webbing. With a soft exhale, release, let the fingers and toes curl back towards one another. Big breath in, fingers and toes spread wide all the way down to the webbing, creating as much space between them as you can. And as you exhale, soften. Big breath in, spreading fingers and toes wide. To exhale, let it go. One more time. This time, as you exhale, squeeze the hands into fists. Curl the toes in towards the feet as if you're making fists with the feet as well. Big breath in, spread the fingers and toes wide. As you exhale, squeezing the hands and feet into tight, tight fists. Big inhale, spread fingers and toes. And exhale, squeezing them towards one another. One last time. And squeeze. Releasing the fingers, releasing the toes, and just taking some gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles. In both directions. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. Draw the right knee in towards the chest, taking hold of the right knee, maybe interlacing fingers or taking hold of the back of the right thigh. Left leg is active. Reach to the left heel, draw the left toes to your face, and gently hug the right knee in closer. Square up the hips by sending the right hip a little bit away from the shoulders, the left hip slightly towards them, pressing them equally down into the mat. Maintaining some softness through the shoulders, the face. You can stay here in stillness or start to take gentle rotations with the right knee, circling the right hip in its joint. Maintaining as much stability through the left side as you can. And then change directions. Find stillness in the center. Take the right knee into the left hand. Release the right arm at your side. Lengthen first, and then on an exhale, find a twist over to the left. Guide the right knee across your body towards the left side of the room, keeping the right shoulder in contact with the floor. You can place a pillow, a block, folded blanket or towel beneath the right knee for some added support, or you can just let it hang in space. Gaze is to the ceiling or over to the right. Breathing space into the lower right belly. Bring the gaze back through center. Let the right knee find center as well. Hug it in towards the chest. And then draw the left knee in to meet the right. Taking both the knees towards your chest. Maybe a gentle rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Then find stillness in the center. Keep the right knee drawn in towards the chest. Lower the sole of the left foot onto the floor. Left knee is bent, foot on the floor, right knee drawn towards the chest. We're going to come into half happy baby. So bring the right arm to the inside of the right thigh. Cross over the shin and take hold of the pinky toe edge of the right foot. From here, start to guide the right knee down towards the floor beside the right shoulder. It does not have to touch. Reach the sole of the right foot towards the ceiling with a bend in the right knee. Ground down through the left hip here. Avoid tipping over to the right. You can keep the sole of the left foot on the floor, or you can start to tip over onto the pinky toe edge of the left foot, lifting the inner arch off of the floor and using the left knee for a bit of a counterbalance, opening up through the inner hips. Another option, if you'd prefer, is to extend the left leg long to the bottom of the mat. Whichever variation feels best today. Letting this practice be your own. Finding that subtle movement with breath, lengthening through the spine with each breath in, and applying gentle pressure to the outer edge of the right foot, guiding the knee a little bit closer towards the floor with each breath out. The heel reaching away from the glutes, working towards a 90-degree angle with the knee. You can always use a strap here to add length to your arm, making your foot more accessible. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the mat if it's not there already. Release the right foot, let the pinky toe edge of the right foot land on the left thigh, creating a figure 4 shape with the legs. Send the right knee away from the shoulders, squeeze the right foot into the left thigh into the foot. Square up your hips and ground them down into the mat. If you're not quite feeling a stretch here, you can start to draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder, take hold of the back of the left thigh, or maybe even the left shin. Each time the left knee comes in towards the left shoulder, the right knee is equally reaching away from the right shoulder. Long spine, all the way up the neck. Gaze is neutral. Slowly release the left foot onto the mat. Reach the right foot up towards the ceiling. Take hold of the back of the right thigh. A little bit of a hamstring stretch here. Reach through the right heel, draw the toes towards your face. Another opportunity to use the strap if you like. You can loop it over your foot, or use it behind the thigh to add length to the arms. Right hip is reaching away from the shoulders and down into the mat as you apply gentle pressure to the back of the leg, bringing the toes closer to the floor behind your head. Take some gentle rotations through the ankle in both directions. Find some stillness. And slowly release. Let the right foot join the left on the floor, extend the legs long. And take a mini shavasana here on your back. Just noticing any subtle changes from one side to the other. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. And draw the knees in towards your chest. Hug the knees in close. This time, option to lift the tailbone, the pelvis off of the mat. Really hug the knees in as close as you can get them to the chest. Keep the knees hugged in as much as you can as you start to press the pelvis down into the mat. Switch the grip over to the left knee. Maybe interlacing the finger in the opposite of your natural grip. Extend the right leg long to the bottom of the mat, flex through the ankle. The left ankle can be soft. Rather than just becoming stagnant in this pose, see if you can maintain activity with breath, lengthening with each breath in from the crown of the head to the tip of the right heel. With every breath out, gentle pressure draws the left knee in a little bit closer towards the chest. Noticing the rise and fall of belly and the left knee with every breath. Stay in stillness, or you can find those gentle rotations with the left knee. Moving them in as circular motion as you can, avoiding any rough, jagged edges, just moving slowly, mindfully. And then change direction of the rotations. Find stillness in the center. Hug the left knee in. Right leg stays extended long. Release the left arm beside you. Lengthening from the top of the head to the bottom of the right foot. And then find your twist. Left knee comes across the body over to the right. Looking neutral towards the ceiling or over to the left. Filling up the lower left belly with breath. Draw the gaze back towards the ceiling. The left knee comes through center as well. Bring the right knee in to meet the left, maybe this time taking the knees a little bit wider, creating space between the thighs for the belly. Maintaining that distance between the knees, a gentle rock from side to side. Find stillness in the center. Bring the knees back towards the midline. Put the right foot on the floor with the knee bent to begin. Left arm comes to the inside of the left leg, across the left shin, and reaches for the pinky toe edge of the left foot. We're coming into half happy baby on the left. Start to send the left knee towards the floor beside your shoulders. Reach the sole of the left foot towards the ceiling with a bend in the knee. Staying upright on the right leg, or you can tip over onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot, as if you're showing the inseam of the right pant leg to the sky. Another option is to extend the right leg long to the bottom of the mat. Whichever variation you choose, just make sure that the right hip stays in contact with the floor. Drawing the hips away from one another and down into the mat. Maintaining space between the molars and the mouth. Softness to the face. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor if it's not there already. And slowly release the pinky toe edge of the left foot onto the right thigh, creating a figure 4 shape with your legs for the thread the needle or recline pigeon pose. You can keep the foot on the floor. You can step the right foot up onto a block, or you can take hold of the back of the thigh or shin. Just notice if in order to do so you start to lift your shoulders or the hips up off of the mat. It could be an indication that you're going a little too far too fast. Instead, you can try using a strap to hold onto the thigh, or you can just stay with your foot on the mat or on a block. Left knee is reaching away from the shoulder at all times. Slowly release the right foot onto the mat. Let the left foot join it. Gentle sway from side to side with the knees. Find stillness in the center. Let the soles of the feet come to touch. The knees fall wide apart, creating a diamond shape with the legs. You can make fists with the hands and slide that under the thighs for a little bit of support. Or you can place the hands on top of the thighs for some added weight. And draw your focus to the belly and the chest without changing its rhythm or rate. Just notice the body breathing. Always turning back to the breath. To the breath as your landmark, as your moment here on this mat. Providing your mind somewhere to turn its focus. By simply acknowledging the presence of breath, following it as it moves through your body, your mind is able to more easily let go of any distractions or frustrations. Having the breath there as an opportunity to replace those other thoughts. With or without the help of the hands, you can draw the knees towards one another, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Right arm comes up overhead, roll over onto your right side body. Draw the knees in towards the chest, rounding through the spine. You can keep the eyes opened or let them be closed. Either option, let the gaze be soft. Allow the weight of the head to rest softly on your arm, releasing effort from the neck. And then when you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. From your tabletop, shoulders are over the wrist, hips are over the knees. Just take a few sways from side to side, sending one shoulder over to the hip, and then in the opposite direction. Swaying from side to side, let the head fall heavy. Release to the back of the neck. Find stillness in your tabletop. We'll move through some cat and cows. With an inhale, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone around your spine, reach it up towards the ceiling as you hollow out the chest and press down through the palms. Big breath in, cow pose, lifted tail, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, rounded spine, chin to chest, gaze to the belly button. Big breath in. And a slow breath out. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Big breath in, find your cow. Stay with that same movement, or as you exhale, rounded spine, send your hips back towards the heels for a rounded back child's pose. On the in-breath, release the elbows to the mat, soft through the arms, glide forward, chin and heart graze the mat as you press through the palms, lift up to your cow. Exhale, rounded spine, hips to heels. Inhale, come forward. Once the chin and gaze comes to the hands, press up into your cow. Either variation, moving through 3 more at your own pace. Linking each movement to a breath. And letting each cycle be a little bit slower than the one before it. No rush at all, but when you get there, just landing in a neutral spine. The feet can have the shoelace side down or the toes can be tucked. Keep the hips over the knees here. And start to walk the hands a little bit forward towards the front of the mat. As the hands slide forward, keep the hips stacked over the knees. Then start to lower the heart and face towards the mat for a puppy pose. So it's like a happy puppy with his bum in the air. And the heart and face are lowering down towards the mat. They do not have to touch. Fingertips are sliding away from you, pressing down into the mat. If your heart is all the way down onto the mat, you can always bring the chin towards the mat, gaze forward for a little more of a stretch into the upper back. Holding the pose here, but not your breath. I'm just making sure to pause at your depth, never going further than where you start to feel that sensation. The beginning stage of a stretch. One more big breath here. And then however it works in your body, find your way up to a tabletop. So maybe that's sliding your hands towards you first. Maybe you lift the chest first. Land in your tabletop. And with the knees nice and narrow, start to send the hips back towards the heels for a narrow leg child's pose. As much space as you need between the thighs to support your belly. Let the forehead rest on something. So maybe that's the floor, maybe it's a block or a pillow. And slide the hands back behind you towards the toes. Really rounding through the entire back body here. Breathing space into the upper back, that space between the shoulder blades. Into the mid back. And into the lower back. Keep the right hand where it is, reaching back towards the feet. Extend the left hand out long in front of you. So we're kind of in a crooked child's pose here. The hips and shoulders still square with one another, right hands reaching behind, left hands reaching in front of you. Then start to walk the left hand over towards the right edge of the mat. Bringing a little bit of a side bend into the left side body. Press the left armpit down towards the floor. It's not intended to touch, it's just reaching down towards it. And let the forehead rest on the floor. Send the left hip back towards the left heel and down towards the mat. Any knee sensitivities, you can always bring a pillow or a rolled up towel behind the knees. Sitting up onto a block is an option as well. Bring the left hand back through center. Let the right hand reach out in front to meet the left. One big breath here in the center. Slide the left hand back towards the left toes. Keep the right arm extended out long in front of you. And then from this crooked child's pose, we'll start to walk the right hand over to the left edge of the mat. Right arm is straight, palm on the floor. Pressing the right armpit down towards the mat and reaching the right hip towards the right heel. Creating as much length as you can up the right side body and breathing space between the ribs of the right side. If this is uncomfortable, you can always slide the left hand up to meet the right. Walk the right hand back through center. Let the left hand join it. One last big breath here in the child's pose. Then draw yourself to tabletop. Gentle sway from side to side with the hips. Pause in your tabletop. Walk the knees back a couple of inches. Find a modified plank. Belly button draws in, shoulders over wrists. Start to bend at the elbows slowly as you lower down all the way onto your belly on the mat. Shoelace side of the feet is on the mat. Reach through the big toes, pressing down through the feet so much so that the knees start to lift. palms on the floor beneath the shoulders. Draw the elbows in towards the midline. With a big breath in, lengthen and lift. Collarbones, maybe 1 or 2 ribs comes up off of the floor for a baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. This time we're going to hold the pose, but maintain the breath. Every inhale, lengthening the spine. Reach through the big toes all the way up to the crown of your head. Lifting 1 or 2 more ribs up off of the mat with every breath. Softening back down slightly with every breath out. On the next exhale, slowly lower down. And let the big toes come to touch, the heels go wide. Release your arms at your sides and turn your gaze to one side. Just taking a moment here in a front laying shavasana to release any tension developing in the back. Bring the hands back beneath the shoulder blades. Come back up onto the tops of the feet. You can have a little bit more space between the feet if that helps with your low back. Keep the left hand where it is. Slide the right arm out beside you. Working towards about a 90-degree angle from the rest of your body. Gaze is neutral down towards the floor. Palm of the right hand is on the floor, arm is extended and straight at your side. Start to press down through the left palm. Lift the left shoulder up off of the mat. You can rest your head on the floor if you like. And we're just starting to roll a little bit of weight over onto the right shoulder. Opening up the chest towards the left side wall by pressing down through the left hand. You can even bend the left leg here. Let it land on the floor to the outside of the right leg. Rolling over a little bit further. Using the left foot as a bit of a kickstand here. This is the pose you can also do standing up against a wall if lying on your belly is uncomfortable. Really pressing down through the right hand, through the right arm as you gently roll the shoulders over top of one another. Being mindful of any previous shoulder injuries or dislocations. Listening to your body. Slowly return through center. Bring the left arm out in front of your face. You can use that as a pillow for the forehead. Draw the right heel in towards the bum and reach the right hand back to take hold of the right foot. You can use a strap here if that's helpful to add length to your arms. Press down through the entire right thigh, all the way down to the knee. Gently draw the right heel in closer and closer towards your bum. It does not have to touch. If you are wearing jeans in this very moment, which I hope you're not, press down through the entire area that would be your zipper. So the entire front of your pelvis from the base of the zipper all the way up to the button is pressing down into the mat. Without losing that contact, draw the heel in a little bit closer. Reaching through the right knee and pressing it down into the mat. Slowly release the right foot. Big toes come to touch, heels fall apart. Arms at your side, turn the gaze in the opposite direction. Lowering your ear onto the mat and just taking a few breaths on your belly. Gaze comes back through center. Heels come to meet one another as well. Come up onto the palms beneath the shoulders. Elbows reach back as if you're in that baby cobra position to start. Extend the left arm out long at your side, creating approximately a 90-degree angle with your body. Palm faces the floor. All the fingers are spread wide and pressing into the mat. The gaze is neutral, neck is soft. Start to press down through the right palm, lifting the right shoulder off of the mat. The gaze starts to turn right. As the left shoulder starts to, or rather the right shoulder starts to lift, it rolls over the left. And you can start to lift the right hip up off the mat. Maybe even bend the right knee and bring the sole of the right foot to the floor behind the left thigh on the opposite side of the mat. Use that as a kickstand to allow you to bring a little more weight over the left shoulder. This is an area that a lot of us hold tension, so be kind to yourself. Pause when you first start to feel that stretch. Really press down through the entire length of the left arm. Offering a few breaths to the area of tightness before going deeper. Start to lower back down onto your front body. Bring the right arm out in front. You can use that as a pillow. Draw the left heel in towards the glutes and reach back with the left hand, taking hold of the left foot. Reaching through the big toe of the right foot, right leg is long and active. Hips equally rooted into the mat. Press your imaginary zipper into the ground. And then draw the left heel in. Creating length between the left knee and the top of your head. And so the left knee is reaching away from the head and down into the mat. Slowly release. Bring the hands to the floor beneath the shoulders. Press yourself up through tabletop. Gentle sway from side to side with the hips. And then from your tabletop, extend the right leg long beside you, creating a triangle shape with the legs. Line up the inner arch of the right foot with the left knee. And the left hip is over top of the left knee. Come up onto the right heel. Turn the sole of the right foot away from you. Option to bring the hands up onto the hips and rise up if you like. Again, just checking in here that the left hip is stacked over the left knee, shoulders over hips. Without actually moving the right leg, think about drawing the right heel towards the left knee. Hands can stay on the hips or be on the floor. Tuck the back toes for support. We'll start to lower the hips down towards the left heel without moving the right heel. You can stay in stillness at your depth, or you can do just little micro movements up and down. Keep the left hip drawn towards the left, stacked over the hip, not swaying side to side. So again, stillness in your lower position, or just gentle up and down motions, moving slowly, feeling a stretch in the back of the right thigh. The right toes are actively drawn towards the kneecap, and the kneecap's drawn towards the hip. Lifting up all the way. Lower the inner arch of the foot back onto the floor. Press down through the pinky toe edge. Rise up one more time. Inhale all the way up. Hips are stacked. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in, reach up all the way. This time, right hand comes onto the right leg, left fingertips reach up and over to the right. Hips are shifting slightly to the left here, staying stacked over the left knee. Pressing down through the pinky toe edge of the right. Come back through center. Lower the hands to the mat. Find your tabletop, a gentle sway from side to side. Just noticing any difference from one leg to the other. Find stillness in the tabletop. We're going to extend the left leg to the side this time. Right knee is in line with the inner arch roughly of the left foot. Pressing down through the pinky toe edge of the left. Rising up. And just look down, check your alignment. Trying to have as much of a straight line as you can with the right side body. Shoulders over the hips, we're not leaning forward or backward. Belly button and lower ribs are drawn in to support your core. Come up onto the heel of the left foot, point the sole of the left foot away from the hips. The toes draw towards your face. You can tuck the back toes behind you. And with the hands on the hips, or lower the fingertips onto the mat, start to lower the hips down towards the right heel. Left heel's on the floor, toes drawn towards the face, with the sole of the foot reaching away from you. Think about squeezing the left heel in towards the hips without actually moving the foot. You can stay here in stillness, or you can start to take those gentle up and down motions, maintaining as much stability through the left heel as you can. And just feeling a stretch up the back of the left thigh, maybe even into the calf here. Notice if you're swaying the hips from side to side as you move up and down. Can you find some stillness there? Next time you lift up, pause there. Lower the inner arch of the left foot onto the mat. Press down through the pinky toe edge. Rise up all the way. Reach up on an inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in, reaching up. As you exhale, left hand onto the left leg. Slide it away from you as you reach the right fingertips over to the left. The right shoulder here often will try to reach down towards the floor, showing the chest to the mat. Instead, shine it forward to the room in front of you. Keep the right shoulder stacked over the left. Come back through center. As you exhale, lower down onto the mat and find your tabletop. A gentle sway from side to side. Let that go. And we'll come to land on our backs with the knees bent to begin. Arms at your sides, knees are bent. Walk the feet wide apart and let the knees tip into touch. Just taking a moment, a few breaths here, releasing the low back into the mat. Notice the arch in the low back and where it hovers slightly above the floor. Send every breath to that area, compressing it down into the mat as you breathe in. As you breathe out, soften. Let it take its natural curvature again. Big breath in, lower the low back into the mat, pressing it down. Exhale, let it go. Big breath in, pressing the entire low back into the mat. Belly button draws in. Exhale, soften. One more time. Exhale, let it go. Extend the legs long to the bottom of the mat. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch here in the center, reaching fingertips away from toes, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, let it go. Big breath in to lengthen. And exhale, let it go. Big full body stretch here on the in-breath. And exhale, let it go. Walk the feet to the bottom right corner of the mat. Keep the hips centered or slightly to the left. We're going to lengthen first and then send the upper body over to the right. So the feet, the legs, the arms, the head are over to the right, but the hips are centered and slightly to the left, creating a C shape or banana shape with your body. Option to keep the feet side by side, or you can cross the left ankle over the right and use the right foot to draw the left foot over to the right a little bit further, applying some traction. Just the same as we found space between the fingers and the toes at the beginning of class. Can you breathe that space into the left ribs? Allowing it to soften on the out-breath. And doing the same with the area between the ribs and the left hip, the left pelvis. Creating space with every breath in. And a little bit of softness, feeling them contract back towards one another with each breath out. The entire left side body expanding in all directions as you breathe. Uncross the ankles if they're crossed. Slide yourself back to the midline. And take another big full body stretch to neutralize the spine. On the exhale, let it go, noticing difference between left and right side body. Then walk the feet to the bottom left corner this time. The hips stay centered or slightly to the right. The upper body finds the top left corner of the mat. You can always release the left hand at your side if that's too much of a stretch or it's uncomfortable in the shoulders. Creating as much space as you can through the right side body, and maybe that means crossing the right ankle over the left. Pointing through the right toes and using the left foot as a bit of a traction on the right leg. Just a few more breaths here on this side. Then slowly release by uncrossing the ankles. Let your entire body find the midline. Another big full body stretch here, letting all of that go. Straightening, neutralizing the spine. And exhale, let it go. Walk the feet out wide to the bottom corners of the mat. Bring the arms at your sides, let the palms face up. Shoulder blades tucked beneath you. A gentle tuck in the chin lengthens your neck. Taking a few slow breaths here, lying on your back. Maybe inviting the eyes to close. And just taking a few moments, a few opportunities of breath to notice the changes you're feeling in your body. Any sensations in the muscles, the tissues, the organs. Any last remaining areas of tension that your body's holding on to. The same as we made fists with our hands at the beginning of class. Make tight fists with the hands, tight fists with the feet, and squeeze all of the muscles in towards the bones. Even clenching your face and making a sour face, where you scrunch it all into the midline. Take a big breath in as you continue to squeeze. All of the muscles are active for 3, for 2, for 1. With a big exhale, let that go, find softness. Take a big breath in, squeezing everything in towards the center of the bones, midline of the body for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, let it go. One last time, biggest, slowest breath in as you squeeze everything the tightest yet, the most effort yet, for 3, 2, and 1. With a big exhale, let it go. Release all effort in the body, finding softness, finding stillness, and allowing the limbs to grow heavy. Letting the limbs settle into relaxation, and returning your focus to breath. The space here on your mat will continue to be yours for as long as you allow it to be. Take advantage of that time to really let your body absorb the benefits of your practice. When it does feel time to get up and go, offer yourself just 1 or 2 more breaths before going on with the rest of your evening. With such gratitude for you joining me in practice today and always, Namaste.